Hello guys, it looks like we are live. We are here for another video, and I've just been enjoying doing the other videos. It's been so cool. Like right now I haven't even prepared really what I'm going to say, so I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to wing this episode so that you can get a real take on what it's like. And if you're joining me on the Facebook group, big up to you. Thank you for joining the Facebook group. I know we've been having some discussion, so let's just continue to do so. And if you're here from YouTube, like, thank you for being here. Just put your comments in the comment section as we talk, as we decide to talk, and I will answer your comments and we can have a discussion. So today we're going to be talking about how our prayers can be hindered, and really the only self-application I could use, well actually there's probably many that I could actually use of self-application, in terms of if I could apply this to myself. And in the other video, check out the other video. It's on YouTube, and you can see like all the different ways which I say that our prayers can be hindered. But really there was kind of like a secret one which I didn't really even realize. Like I've kind of read this verse many times, like so many times. I've studied it, gone through it, like different things, because obviously before you get married you have to look at these kind of verses. So like it was only until I was in a community group, and shout out to you Luke if if you're watching, but I was in a community group and we were studying the book of First Peter. Again, First Peter is just such a great book. I love First Peter. Like there's just so much in there about suffering, marriage, how we deal with authority. Like there's just so much there. But anyway, we were on to the marriage section. So I read that, and then I saw that there's a point in there in which your prayers can be hindered. And obviously I've been married to my wonderful wife for around 5 years. This is the 5th year this year, right? And she's behind the scenes. She's doing all the good stuff you can see on screen going on right now. Tickers, whatever's going on, comment section. Like this is what she's doing. She's controlling it, and she's doing a great job. And like, all I can do is just sit here and talk. But yeah, so we've been going out for 8 years in total, and this is gonna be our 5th year married, right? So it took us, I feel like we were dating for 2 years, and then we were engaged for 1. Okay, I got that right. So 3 years, that's quite a long time, But I feel like when you're getting married, I feel like the most important thing, and this is what some people miss, the most important thing isn't getting into the marriage and then trying to fix everything. The most important thing is picking the right person. And I feel that I've picked the best person, the only person. Like I love my wife so much, and like she means everything to me. And that's what happens when you really take the time to pick and choose the right person. Pick someone that's equally yoked. Pick someone that loves the Lord. Wait for them, be patient, like learn about marriage together, and just take your time with things. Just relax, take your time. But to be honest, 3 years is quite a long time to do that kind of stuff. And some of you are wondering, like, why am I talking about marriage? Like, just sit back and hold on. We will get to the topic soon, and it will all connect in place. But we're just going to continue to talk about marriage, and we're going to continue talking about this, because that's just what I feel like talking about right now. And this is just a real life video about what it takes. So, like, we were going out for 3 years, and then we got married. And I mean, getting married is one of the most amazing things you can ever do. And I mean, God has set marriage apart. Sorry, there's like a mosquito around. God has set marriage apart as something that, is sacred. It represents like the marriage between Christ, the Holy Spirit, and God the Father. It's just really such a beautiful thing. And like obviously they have a perfect marriage, and Christ is also married to the church as his bride. But as we know, marriage, it is imperfect, so just keep that in mind when you're gonna get married, is that yes, things are gonna be okay. God has set things up for you, because if you're married, it means that you were supposed to get married. God had that in plan for you. And I feel like he had it in plan for myself and my wife, you know. It just feels like it was meant to be, you know. But some people are called to being single, and that is perfectly fine too. And spoiler alert, if you go to Corinthians, it actually says that it's better to be single, which is strange. But what I found in the past few weeks is that being apart, like I was apart from my wife for like 2 months. And what I found is if you have two people that are married that both have strong faith in the Lord, despite everything that's happening, despite the virus, despite all these kind of things that's been happening in our life, we've both had strong spirit. And if that can happen in a marriage, you can really achieve just as much as a single person in terms of glorifying God, if not more. Because, you know, my wife being in a different place and me being over here, I'm able to work over here and glorify God and do what I'm doing. And she's able to be where she is and spread the gospel and learn different things. And it was just such a magnificent thing when we came together and we combined like what God has been teaching us. And, you know, it was just an interesting experience. And we found out that God was actually speaking to us about the same things, just in different ways. So it's just amazing, like the level of understanding that you could have when you're in a close connection with your partner. And you know, it can go wrong because there are times when you might not have connection, and there are some times where you can get into worldly thinking. And when that happens, you know, you could have a problem on your hands, because as it says in Corinthians, we're not even going to go there because I don't want you guys getting upset, you know. I don't want you guys getting upset with me because I talk about this a lot, but like it says that you as a husband, you will look for the wills of your wife, and it says the wife will look for the wills of the husband. So what happens there is your thoughts get split, and I've definitely felt that in my life. You know, if we're both on a worldly level and we're thinking about different worldly things, and obviously you want to get your wife everything she wants, you want her to have everything she wants, and she wants you to have everything you want. So you might get conflicted there if what you want isn't to serve the Lord. You know, you might get a little bit twisted, and that's something that we've developed over time. So within this 5 years, you know, I can't say that I've learned everything about marriage. And that is the joy about marriage, is that you don't know what you're going to learn next. And I love to learn. Like, that's the main thing. Every single time a new thing comes up, you learn something and you get experience from it. You get resolve, you keep going. And it's just a fun experience. Like, because things will happen in your life, good and bad, for both yourself and your wife, and you just learn about it together. It's just so great. So let's take a quick second to look at the comments for a sec, just to see who is in the comment section watching along. So I'm gonna get the little device from my lovely wife. Oh, okay. Oh, my mother-in-law's here. Hello, mom. Thanks for watching. Well said. Yes, that is great. You have a lovely daughter that is right here. And I'm getting a thumbs up from my sister-in-law, who is checking the audio for me. Alright, so let's just continue. Let's go on. So we're going to look at a verse right now that I have prepared right here. Now I'm getting into what the actual topic is now. So I kind of read this in the first video, but we're going to go into more detail about it, on how I've kind of found doing this verse. So it says, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. When they see your respectful, pure conduct, do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on gold jewelry, or the clothing you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. For this is how the holy women who hoped in God used to adorn themselves, by submitting to their own husbands, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. And you are her children, if you do good and do not fear anything that is frightening. So, you know, that sounds like a lot. you know. And I feel like some women out there are daunted about this kind of notion, but really what it's saying here is just that, you know, you if your husband is acting a certain way and not going towards the word, just like I was saying that sometimes in marriage we don't go after God, go after the world. What you do is you speak to them through your actions. You don't speak to them through argument or like words. You speak to them through you do it. You do the action. You do the right thing, and that's something that can definitely be struggling within be a struggle within marriage. But let's see what the husband has to do, because this is what has challenged me, and this will always be a challenge. I feel like no husband can really be perfect. No husband can say that they're perfect, and for me, it's just exciting to be able to learn how to continue to strive towards what God wants us to be as husbands. So then it carries on and it says, likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way. Now that's straight away, that's that's already tough, because to understand a woman is tough. Like, let's just put it out there. Let's put it completely and utterly out there. Let's put it out there. That is hard straight away. Alright, so let's go on. This is showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life. And then what does it say next? It says, so that your prayers may not be hindered. So that is the one little section that I didn't even realize was there. And I've read this so many times. We did marriage counseling with two separate pastors before we got married, and that's something that before you get married, just for you guys that may not know. But it's just something it's quite shocking to read, and I never really noticed that. So even thinking back in my mind, I'm wondering, has my prayers been hindered sometimes when like I've spoken to my wife in like a rash way or something like that? And in the last live stream, go and check it out, I was talking about anxiety. Okay, so, and I said I've been building up in my confidence and like learning how to speak more freely, etc., etc. But what I found is that something interesting happens. Like when you let's say you have social anxiety, and for the people that have out there, you might know what I'm talking about. Let's say you get more confident. What happens is I feel like in my mind, like a whole new level of words and like sentences and things that I never would say, it's like unlocked in my mind. I don't know if that's what it's like for you guys that are confident out there. I just have an array of so many different things that I can say that come to mind. And the problem with that is you really have to watch what you say. You really do have to think before you speak, not to speak quickly, which is something that I feel like I've always been good at, especially in public. But now that I have the power, the added power to use my words to uplift and to encourage, and I also have the power to tear someone down with my words, which can just happen in a split second if you don't think about it. So what I'm finding is that because of this new unlocked confidence, sometimes I could just go look and just say something, and that is something that will come back to you, because what God is saying here in the verse, he's saying that he's saying that if you do not live with your wife showing honor to them and living with them in an understanding way, your prayers will be hindered. So I can just think how many times I've been praying about certain things and God hasn't been answering, or I've had a dull feeling in my life where I'm not feeling connected to the Spirit. I mean, that is just, it's just kind of crazy to think that something as simple as that could be the reason why those prayers aren't answered. Whew. I mean, that's just great. Like when I thought about that, so that's the added thing. So really, guys, the guys that ain't married, or the women that ain't married, think about this. Think about this is something that you have to consider when you're married. Like, how am I treating my partner? How am I treating my wife? Is that causing me to hinder my prayers? So it's just quite interesting to see. So let's just check and see what you guys are saying. Uh, so mom says it really is ultimately about obedience to God. If that is the focus, it is achievable. And yeah, I agree with that. You know, the focus has to be on God. And if you're both kind of like focused on God and what he's trying to teach you throughout your marriage, and sometimes, you know, God will throw a trial in there here and there, but you have to be able to deal with it, and you have to be able to deal with it together, as the verse says, in an understanding way, you know, showing honor to the wife, and really with your actions and your words. So like, it's really here through gaining more confidence and stuff like that I found that words have so much power. I mean, God spoke the world into existence, you know, from a single, like a few words. And really unlocking those words, you have to use those words very carefully and very, you know, be in prayer about those words daily, and do things with your wife and do things with your husband to combat that. So, you know, I can't really say a lot more. Like, I'm still learning and I will continue to learn, as I said. What I would say to you guys is, don't think you have to be a perfect wife or perfect husband. Like, this is not, like, God is saying this is something that you strive towards. He's showing you this level as an example to how Christ is married to the church. You know, you will never be on Christ's level. That is why he is God. That is why he is there. But you could try your best to honor your wife, you know, do as best you can, not beat each other up as soon as you see a problem. You know, that's something too. You have to speak in an encouraging way. I think in Ephesians somewhere it talks about let nothing come out of your mouth except for encouragement. You know, and that's something I'm learning too. You know, if you see your wife or husband not doing their role properly or something like that, don't try and beat them up. What you gotta do is you gotta try and uplift them, you know, and uplift them through your actions and also uplift them through your words. And that's very key and that's vital, because it goes towards understanding what they're going through. Like, are they acting in this way because of they're not feeling you know, they're not feeling a certain love from you, or they're not seeing a certain care from you. So maybe that's why they're behaving in a certain way, because of something that you're doing. So you have to be able to see that and understand that. And I'm telling you guys, it's a great journey to be able to do that. Like, I can't stress that enough. But but single people, don't rush into this, please. Just don't rush into this. But I'm telling you, for those of you out there that are called towards marriage, it's just amazing to be able to spend the rest of your life with someone in a changing environment. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, as we're seeing in a time like this. You know, the coronavirus is going about, and loads of different things are happening, and we're really in uncertain times right now. And it's just, that's kind of like how marriage is, because you might know a week from now what things are going to be like, but think about years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know, we're on 5 years now, but you know, we're not the same people that we were back then. You know, we've learned a lot of things, we've experienced different things, we've gone through different trauma together, we've gone through happiness together, we've traveled together, we've done so many different things. And in that short space of time of 5 years, so much has changed. It's just changed in such an amazing way. So think about, you're marrying this person for the long run, right? You're marrying this person for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So you have to think things are gonna change. You know, the person that you married 50 years ago might not be the same person with the experience that they've gained, but you've signed up to love them no matter what. You've signed up to be there for them, and that's the joy of marriage, is that you're just honoring that person no matter who they are, no matter who they become, and no matter who they was. You know, it's just great. So that really is it. I mean, I'm getting hungry. I want to eat some food now. This is a real talk. Christians do get hungry too, so I'm gonna eat some food after this. And I'm sure some of you are going to eat some food now. If you're watching in England, it's probably very late for you. If you're watching in America, in the north side, wherever it is you're watching, it's probably dinner time for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, right? And just think about in your life how your prayers can be hindered. You know, think about verses that you've read and like read them again and see, is there something that I'm missing from this verse that I could be grasping? You know, I can be kind of learning. And you know, Genesis is a good one too. Like every single time I read the first two chapters of Genesis, I see something new, I see something different. And I just like, God is just so amazing that he can do that. I mean, could you imagine the Jews reading like Genesis and finding out later on, years later on, that like the Trinity is spoken about there, like in the first chapter, oh my goodness, it's just amazing. There's so much you can get. So let's just continue to read our Bible. Let's continue to read all the verses that we've read before and just get every single thing out of it. And let's try and prevent our prayers from being hindered in any which way by anything, you know, by marriage or by any which way. So I'm going to sign off now because it looks like I'm running a bit. If there's any last comments, then comment it down below or to the side, to this side, I think it is. So yeah, signing off. Let's continue to explore our unknown years.